morning and good afternoon, everyone. And I have well, it's not my usual brand of commentary, so we'll say I've got a special commentary lined up for you guys today. So I originally found this video via Slumber, since I was looking for some material to cover solo and they were willing to throw some my way. This was the one I gravitated to watching, mostly because it presents itself as a sort of documentary-style video on the user it's about, Sonic 93. Now, fun fact, I know nothing about the Sonic 93 drama. Now you may be asking, why am I doing a commentary on someone I know nothing about? Well, I like to judge things on the merit of what they're trying to be, and this video is trying to inform its viewers of who Sonic 93 is so they can try to not be like them, apparently. Hell, it's part of a series they literally called Don't Be. But the thing is, after watching this video, I felt like I had no clue who Sonic 93 was and what her drama was about. And since I assume this video is meant to inform, allow me to present my perspective for why it doesn't do a good job of such, in the form of a sort of reactionary commentary. Kind of. Of course, I'll still be making points, however, I'm going to be a lot less focused on debunking and more so focused on getting across how unclear this video is with the information it provides. So, with that out of the way, let's begin. 027, because around the first 30 seconds are very important other than a disclaimer and you saying you were going to cover someone else and decided not to.
So, I want to make this video on Sonic 93 instead, for obvious and various reasons.
May I ask what these obvious and various reasons are?
She's not as bad as Chris-chan, but I'd say a lot worse than Lily Pete, now known as Lily Orchard. In a way.
Okay, not elaborating and dropping other names to compare them to. Now, fun fact, I don't really know the situation with Chris-chan either, and my knowledge of Lily Orchard is, well, I know a little, but knowing what I know, calling a Sonic ranter worse than her is certainly a statement to make. I'm gonna guess you've probably made videos on these two before in your Don't Be series, but someone who just dropped into this video, i.e. myself, would be totally lost on the comparison you're trying to make here. I shouldn't need to watch two other unrelated videos to get an idea of the comparison being drawn.
Keep in mind that the Don't Be series is a documentary series, and not really classified as a rant series. Whether the person I'm talking about has either changed their behaviors or has yet to change at all is entirely up to debate.
And this is why I'm judging this video the way I am. It wants to be a documentary series, therefore its purpose is going to be to inform, first and foremost. Like, even if I'm going on the basis you're right in everything you say, it's more about presenting it and actually proving that to your audience. You'll see what I mean in a bit.
And whether you're a fan of Step person or absolutely loathe them with a passion, I strongly advise you not to attack them or me. But if you choose to do so, most likely with me, you will end up with the result of being blocked from this channel entirely. Also, don't attack Amy-chan either. From what I hear, she's doing her own thing. She feels bad about how she and Sonic 93 treated Akai, Yoshi, and Aaron. Not sure if Ruth said anything about her or not, but I'm more than positive that Amy feels awful about everything from the past.
I have multiple questions. Who's Amy-chan? Who's Akai? Who's Yoshi? Who's Aaron? Who's Ruth? And why are you dropping so many names so early into the video when we haven't gotten into the main meat of it yet? We're barely a minute in. Also, this Amy person apparently did something, I guess? Was she like a friend of Sonic 93? I know this is a general disclaimer, but you are throwing way too much information for someone uninformed to pick up on, and you haven't even actually started.
All that being said, let's get right into this video. So who exactly is Sonic 93? Well, if you've been living under a rock for about 5 years or so...
No, I just find my mental health more important than petty internet drama, so personally I've tried to be rather disconnected from it until recently. I honestly hate this mentality that if you don't know about unimportant drama to you, that you've been living under a rock. Like, some of us just got better shit to do.
Sonic 93, aka Ruth, is a silver fangirl, and along with her now former friend Amy-chan, who back in the day created multiple rants on Akai Dahlia and Yoshi 1. Because, according to them, Akai was a boy-crazy Mary Super Sonic and Shadow, and Yoshi was claimed by Ruth is to be the next Paul and Amy because of autism and Asperger's.
While I appreciate that we're getting more context now, wouldn't it have been better to give a basic rundown your initial introduction before that disclaimer? Like, I'm only just finding out that Song 93 is named Ruth from your video, but in your intro you use the two names without elaboration. I legit thought they were two separate people until this point. Which, since this video is meant to inform, it's probably not great for a viewer to be confused out the gate as you throw names around.
Let that sink in. A man with autism, who is obsessed with Amy Rose, and used the Sonic fandom to escape his horrible life for comfort, is compared to a man who sexually abused 5 girls who were minors because of his escapism and Asperger's. Yeah. Ruth clearly didn't understand what autism is, nor did any research on it.
Are we gonna see any screenshots to support this idea of it being escapism? Or of Song 93 putting these accusations on Yoshi? Or clips from videos? Or anything? Because without it, I'm just taking your word on it, which, to give you the benefit of the doubt, I will to an extent. But it would be nice to see something to back this up. Hell, I'd take testimony from AB-chan since she and Song 93 were friends according to you.
At first, I didn't think the rants were all that bad, but whenever I look back on the past videos she and Amy made, this rant was bad. Really bad. And she was also a horrible person. She still is to this day, quite possibly. As for Amy-chan, she's moved on from ranting, and we'll get to her side of things later on in this video.
A crumb of evidence. Just a taste of it. Please.
But for now, let's keep the focus on Sonic 93. Looking back at the videos made then, and looking directly at them now, Akai, or Jane as she prefers to be called nowadays, was just a huge Sonic fangirl, wanting to make ships of OCX canon ships of a Sonic fan character, and didn't like a certain character, referring to Amy here. And Ruth bashed her for having just that, and having her character shipped with multiple other Sonic characters like Shadow and Sonic. And most, if not all those videos made on Jane, pretty much damaged her. She still gets targeted to this day, which is pretty sad. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her art, or her OCs, or anything she does. If she wants to ship her self-insert with Sonic and Shadow, let her. If she wants to make a Sonic OC self-insert, let her. She's just having fun for Arceus' sake.
Don't get me wrong, I'm all for OCX canon. Let the people have their fun. Cringe is dead. And again, assuming you're correct and this did happen, I can absolutely feel for her and I'm sorry that happened. But I gotta ask you again to show me anything. It was at this point I checked the links in her description to see if she had any sources, and there is a whopping 1 link to a playlist. The one right below it is more of your Don't Be series, which isn't gonna give more information about the Sonic 93 drama, and everything else is linking to your various socials. And sure, you did give 1 link, good on you, but the link is broken, so I can't find any of the stuff you're even talking about via your own sources. Sometimes putting something in the description is not enough, especially if they aren't archived. And you guys might be seeing where this is going, never getting anything to back up claims. You know what? I'm stealing the bit. Going forward, in place of every time I'd ask for evidence or a screenshot, I'll just, got it. I'll quote Puppet History. Let's crack in.
And the Yoshi videos served no better. Ruth constantly bashed Yoshi for various reasons. For being a Son Amy fanboy,
Kinda similar to those people who dance till they die in France.
commenting on Jane Reed from Arthur on being attractive,
Ignore the hand.
a list of attractive animated female characters,
There was frickin' molasses everywhere!
and because there was little to no research done about Yoshi or Brandon having Asperger's.
Arise, lost and salted youth.
And from what I heard, he now has to go to therapy because of Sonic 93, and doesn't even dare to go back to the Sonic fandom or Son Amy at all, because it was his main source of comfort during a very dark and rough time in his life.
Oh, at this point, it's literally just hearsay. According to what you heard, I wouldn't be so bothered by this if you did anything to back up any claim in this video. What you heard could be very wrong, and I do feel bad for the guy if this is what happened, but you can't promote hearsay in a documentary-style video when you have nothing to back it up.
If Jane and Brandon happen to be watching this video, I'm very sorry for all the damage Ruth did to you both. I hope you're both doing alright, staying safe, and I hope you're both in a better place now. Oh, but we're not done yet.
I still don't even know the details of what she actually did. Why are we apologizing? Why is this before the What Happened segment?
The rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper and worse, like an abyss. It only gets darker from there.
How am I supposed to see your non-existent evidence in the dark!
Remember when I mentioned Amy-chan moving on from ranting? Well, here's why. Apparently, from an interview I listened to, made by Dumbsville, Ruth and Amy had a falling out regarding a rant she did on a person named Melody, making a comment about Silver the Hedgehog, and Ruth did not like that.
Why isn't this video in your description? God damn it, do I gotta go look at this whole other video to actually get the context to what you're talking about? Why can't you put a clip? You don't even direct us to a timestamp!
The video in question when it was made was very vengeful and filled with classic Sonic 93 rage.
All the crops died!
During this time, Amy-chan had grown up and matured over time, and when the falling out happened, Ruth ended up cutting all ties with Amy,
All the crops died!
and the poor girl was broken.
Once more, with gusto.
To get more into depth of their friendship, it seemed to be a very close one at first, but as time went on, the red flags showed that Ruth was controlling, manipulative, and very abusive and possessive towards Amy.
All the crops died?
If you want to watch the full interview Dumbsville made, a link is provided in the description.
It's not. It's literally not. Unless it's in that playlist I can't access to save my life. If the issue is the playlist getting removed, then this would have easily been fixed by putting the video as a separate link in the description, since you called to it specifically. Or if the video itself is gone, this is why we have archive links. Especially if you're going to point to something to use it as evidence, you should keep a backup.
I'll point at you also. I'm not in the sky, dick nips.
Now then, back to Sonic 93. When Alduin made their commentary on Ruth's rage video about Melody's opinion on Silver,
Wait, who's Alduin and who's Melody? You mentioned Melody earlier when you briefly mentioned a video Amy-chan did, but we didn't get much info on her. But Alduin is someone you brought up just now. What?
she took it in the worst way possible. She didn't really seem to take the critique she was given, and she just acted like she was in the right to act the way she did.
Which means, record scratch, women could now kill men. Hooray!
And when others made videos on her, such as Jar, Dumbsville, Nani, she still acted extremely immature and obsessive over a fictional hedgehog character.
Brandy Newman?
Say it all together now, children. Hypocrite!
Song 93 was being hypocritical? Over what exactly? His only works of Song 93 was also getting on someone's case over being obsessed with a fictional hedgehog, which, need I remind you, you've done nothing to prove is actually the case in your video. And I'm going to guess none of the people you just mentioned did that. What were the videos on her even about exactly? Also, why is the snowman's crotch talking to me?
And overall, acting like the queen she thought herself to be. And with other close relationships and friendships she had in the past, she tended to be the same she was with Amy. Controlling, manipulative, and very abusive.
I, Sir Isaac Newton, do solemnly swear!
But surprisingly with Nani, she seemed to be mature.
Didn't you just get done saying how Song 93 was being a hypocrite when it came to reacting to the videos made on her, apparently? And now we're flopping on that and saying she was mature. These weren't even 30 seconds apart, my god.
I suppose that's because of how Nani came off as calm, gentle, motherly, yet a very strict person. Nani's basically the guide for most YouTubers here, which is why everyone seems to look up to her, myself included. That aside, after all the backlash, the criticism she couldn't take, holding so many grudges for Arceus knows how long, the callouts and exposing of her true colors, Ruth pulled the classic pen a bitch by deleting her entire channel.
History. It's sloppy.
I'm not sure why she did this, though I can take an obvious wild guess, but after all the negativity she's gotten involving the drama and controversy she's created, she decided to get away from all that. Maybe to try and start a fresh new start in her own strange way, or to run off like a coward, tail between her legs and all. But according to her, she wanted closure.
Yummy, 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 in my tummy, let me eat Antoine.
I have no fucking idea how that works, but the human brain is pretty damn weird, you know?
Please tell me we're not gonna psychoanalyze some internet stranger.
I'm no psychologist, but I believe the main reason as to why she did what she did was because of a mental disorder, or unresolved anger issues, or some type of abuse or influence to her behavior.
Oh, so we just straight up are! This is the worst time to not have anything to back up what you're saying. At this point, you're literally just assuming shit about this person.
It's actually kind of hard to get into the mind of someone like Ruth.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we don't know her. And it's especially hard when you've only got hearsay to work off of and haven't seen any actual screenshots.
But here's my theory as to why her behavior got this way. Due to how many people enjoyed her Kai Dahlia rant, by expressing her thoughts and opinions upon Jane's character and her artwork, a lot of people may have gotten the idea that, oh, this person's fucking cringy as shit. Dear Arceus, every time I use the word cringe as an adjective, I lose 75% of my brain cells.
This video makes me lose 75% of my brain cells, and I only got the one, damn it!
Let's go attack her! We want more! This got into Ruth's head that, oh, people like this. Let's make more! And continued onward from there, which would lead to her eventual downfall and destruction of relationships with people she saw as friends but used as tools. And this girl made 11 or more rants on a Kai.
Oh, I never ever thought you'd meet me in front of this here take of molasses, Ryan!
I'm emotionally, mentally, and physically drained out of my energy just mentioning it.
Me too, but for different reasons.
As for the mindset she continued to have and her aggressive, abusive behavior, that's something we may or may not get an answer to. But my theory is she was treated the same way, which influenced her bad behavior, and used the internet to escape it, but somehow continued the cycle instead of breaking it, and it only made things a million times worse as time went on. I hope that isn't the case.
If this scenario is true, in my opinion, you sitting here and trying to pick apart the brain of a person you don't know personally is even more weird. Like, unless she was openly talking about this kind of stuff, you have no right to throw this kind of stuff around, no matter who it is.
But if it is, I hope Ruth seeks mental help from all this. Because girl needs therapy. A whole lot of therapy.
Now, if I tell her to get therapy, I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'm not serious about that, but I think it's kind of fucked up for you to stand here and say that with your whole chest about someone that, need I remind you, you don't know.
Before we get to the conclusion, a quick message for Ruth. Ruth, if you happen to be watching this video somehow or another, I don't know what you've been through, why you behave in this manner, holding various grudges, being an abusive and controlling person, having uncontrollable anger, etc. But I have this to ask. What the fuck is wrong with you, girl? You not only ruined your reputation as a content creator, but your entire reputation as a human being as a whole. You betrayed the trust of those who thought you were their friend. You mentally fucked up 2 people who were just fans, and I mean Sonic fans, not your fans, but I could be wrong, correct me if I am. You act like a spoiled little brat because you have the my way or the highway, or better yet, no way mentality, as well as if you do it, it's wrong, but if I do it, it's right bullshit mindset. I don't know if you're able to redeem yourself at this point, but if you get some serious mental help for whatever issues you got, do come back on the internet with a fresh new start. But you are gonna get backlash no matter fucking what. Aside from all that, I do hope the best for you. Despite how horrible of a person you are, when your true colors are shown, I hope you get better and start anew one day.
You know, this comes across as a lot worse considering you sat here and said all these things without any evidence, and after you theorized that she was an abuse victim and was lashing out likely because of that abuse. I'm not the only one who thinks this is fucked up, right? Also, you saying, I do wish the best for you, and then instantly going to say how much of a terrible person you think she is, doesn't help your case. Like, sure, you can wish for someone who's done wrong to get the help they need, but this comes across as very insincere. This entire message to Ruth thing just makes me feel gross.
So what we have learned applies to our lives today. God has a lot to say in his book.
So, Now what have we learned today, children? Holding grudges will damage you mentally and emotionally, as well as your reputation as a person.
When did we learn that?
Anger or lashing out solves nothing, only worsens the problem. Let it go, like Frozen, and move on.
When did we learn that?
Showing your true colors with your inner demons will damage relationships with others. Seek help for your own personal issues.
When did we learn that?
Leaving your platform solves nothing. Learning to accept criticism and learn from your mistakes and accept it as such.
When did we learn that?
And finally, the most important one of all, don't be Sonic 93.
Could have only read the title and those words would bear about as much weight as they do after watching this video. Anyway, the rest of the video is just her saying people she won't be doing a video on, pointing to the non-existent videos in the non-existent playlist below, and that's it. So, now it's time for my conclusion. So I came to this video asking the question, who is Sonic 93? And I walked out asking that same question. Sure, I have an estimation of who Ruth is, but none of what was said was backed up by evidence, and that evidence you claim you had, I can't access because the playlist is gone, obliterated, reduced to atoms. Which means, if I want the actual context and evidence you were alluding to, I'd have to try and go and find it myself, and all I have are some YouTuber names, and one specific video by Dumbsville, was it? Which isn't great since this video was meant to inform. I seriously don't know where you answered most of these questions at the end, because without anything to back up claims, it's hearsay and you're not answering any questions. Like, all I know is that according to you, Song 93 is an abusive, manipulative ex-ranter, but you presented nothing to actually back that up. And even giving you the benefit of the doubt that everything you said is true, because I'm not going to go around and say these people aren't victims when I don't have anything that says otherwise. But your absolute tactless section where you got on your little therapist chair trying to tell us about how you think that this person has trauma was still uncalled for. Like I said before, unless Song 93 has made these kind of things public, frankly, it's not our business to be discussing it like this. And even then, the mental health issues of an internet stranger online aren't really ours to be discussing in the first place. All in all, my final advice to you is this. Get some screenshots or video clips, just give us any bit of evidence, and maybe start archiving your sources via Google Drives or an actual archival site so you don't have to run the risk of your sources shitting themselves again. At the very least, if they were in the video, I would have something you're providing me to look at and use to verify what you're saying is true. Because otherwise, I have to look at this with a much more skeptical eye as a person who, need I remind you, went into this not knowing a thing about Sonic 93 and was expecting to be educated. There's not much else I can say. I'm gonna believe the victims unless I've given something that proves I shouldn't. So I honestly do wish these people well. But if you want to make a video that justifies these little derailing messages, please have the receipts to back them up. With all that said, good evening and good night.
Oh, dude. Dude, you alright? You good? You good? You need a lozenge?